Hey there, fellow wealth seekers. Today, we're diving into some timeless financial wisdom that's been around for nearly a century, but is still incredibly relevant in our modern world. I'm talking about The Richest Man in Babylon, a book that's packed with practical advice on how to build and manage wealth. Let's explore three key principles from this classic that can help us all on our journey to financial freedom. Now, you might be wondering, why should I care about advice from ancient Babylon? Well, here's the thing. Money management hasn't changed as much as we might think. The tools and technology have evolved, sure, but the fundamental principles of building wealth remain the same. These are the kind of lessons that have stood the test of time and can really make a difference in our financial lives. So, let's get started with our first principle. Pay yourself first. This is probably one of the most powerful concepts in personal finance. The idea is simple. Before you pay your bills, before you buy groceries, before you spend a dime on anything else, you set aside a portion of your income for savings. We're talking about at least 10% of what you earn. I know what you're thinking, but I can barely make ends meet as it is. Trust me, I've been there. It seems counterintuitive, even impossible at first. But here's the magic. When you make saving your top priority, you force yourself to live on less. You adapt, you find ways to make it work. Let me share a personal example. When I first started implementing this principle, I set up an automatic transfer of 10% of my paycheck to a separate savings account. It was tough at first, but I quickly realized that I was spending less on unnecessary things simply because I had less available to spend. And you know what? I didn't miss that money as much as I thought I would. The key is to make it automatic. Set up that transfer so it happens as soon as your paycheck hits your account. Treat it like any other bill that needs to be paid. Over time, you'll be amazed at how your savings grow, almost without you noticing. Now, let's move on to our second principle. Control your expenses. This goes hand in hand with paying yourself first. The idea here is to really understand the difference between your needs and your wants. It's about avoiding what we call lifestyle inflation, when your spending increases just because your income does. One practical way to implement this is to track your spending for a week or two. And I mean everything. That coffee you grab on the way to work, that impulse buy at the checkout counter, everything. You might be surprised at where your money is actually going. I remember when I first did this exercise, I was shocked to discover how much I was spending on eating out and subscription services I barely used. It was a real eye-opener. Once I identified these unnecessary costs, I was able to cut back and redirect that money towards my savings and investments. The goal isn't to deprive yourself of everything enjoyable. It's about being intentional with your spending. Ask yourself, is this purchase really necessary? Is it adding value to my life? If the answer is no, it might be time to reconsider. All right, now for our third and final principle. Make your money work for you. This is where things get really exciting. It's not enough to just save money. You need to put that money to work. The idea here is to invest your savings in ventures that have the potential to grow over time. We're talking about things like index funds, real estate, or even starting a side business. The key is to find opportunities where your money can earn more money. Now, I know investing can seem intimidating. When I first started, I was overwhelmed by all the options and jargon. But here's the thing. You don't need to be a financial expert to get started. The most important step is to begin educating yourself about the basics of investing. Start small. Maybe it's putting a portion of your savings into a low-cost index fund that tracks the overall stock market. Or perhaps it's saving up for a down payment on a rental property. The specific investment isn't as important as the act of getting your money working for you. Remember, the goal is to create multiple streams of income. Your job shouldn't be your only source of money. When you invest wisely, you're essentially hiring your money to work for you 24/7, even while you sleep. So there you have it, folks. 3 timeless wealth principles from the richest man in Babylon. Pay yourself first, control your expenses, and make your money work for you. These might seem simple, but they're incredibly powerful when put into practice consistently. I encourage you to start implementing these principles today. Start with just one if that feels more manageable. Remember, building wealth is a journey, not a destination. It's about making small, consistent choices that add up over time. Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Which of these principles resonated with you the most? Are you already practicing any of them? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And hey, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on more financial wisdom and practical tips for building wealth. Remember, your financial future is in your hands. Start taking control today, and who knows, you might just become the richest person in your own modern-day Babylon. Until next time, keep growing that wealth.